Today we're having fun with math today. So we're gonna look at April. We wrapped up the first 3 weeks, and now we're gonna finish up the next one with April 19th, and it's Sunday, April 19th. So if we look back at our pattern, we have to see what will come after our analog clock, because that is where we left off. So if you go back, even at home, and I want you to make a prediction, what do you think will come next in our pattern after an analog clock? Anybody here? Yes.
A dozen eggs.
Eggs. Yes, eggs came after the clock. So I have to remind myself what fraction we left off on, because I can't remember. We left off on 8/12, which was equivalent to 2/3. So if we think back, let's see our pattern. We had 2/12, right? 4/12. Lots of THS's going on. 6/12. What might this next egg carton continue to make a prediction? Yes, Mrs. Walters.
8, 2, 4, 6, and 8.
We are counting my twos. 8/12. That is a good prediction, and it kind of goes along with the last day. So let's see. So exciting! Wow. Let's see. 2, 4, 6, 8. Indeed. 8/12 with our egg carton, our array with eggs. If you have any eggs at home, you can see what kind of array you might be able to see. 19th. So we have, let's see, we have our part and our whole. So our part in this case is how many eggs we have left, and our whole is how many are there all together, and our part is the number on top. What do we call that? So if we look over here, it might be hard to see, but we have our list of words that we left our last video off reviewing. So think about the top number in a fraction. What do you guys think?
Numerator.
Numerator. So that's our part. So that would be 8. 8 eggs. And then the bottom number, which is the total or the whole number, what do we call the bottom number in a fraction? Think about it at home. Get your ideas. Good guess. Okay.
Denominator.
Denominator. And that is 12 still, because we know there's a dozen in here, and a dozen is 12. So we know this is 8/12. But there's an equivalent fraction out there. And it kind of reminds me of this last one. Oh man. You also might want to picture, how could you maybe group this in a new way to make a new fraction? Another way for those who are ready for a challenge is to think about what numbers could go both into 8, our numerator, and 12, our denominator. Kind of divide it out and find it out that way. That's a little bit trickier. Anybody here, what do you guys think? Equivalent fraction for 8/12. Mrs. Goodwin.
I think 4 can go into both 8 and 12. So then I would say 4 can go into 8 2 times, and 4 can go into 12 3 times. So I would say 2/3.
Very good. See, she's up for a challenge. That's a very smart way of doing it. Another way that was really tricky is if you could even draw this at home and be thinking about how you could group 4 together, 4 together, and 4 together. And then you have 2 out of 3. 2 ways to solve that. So we have our equivalent fraction is 2/3, and our observations are it is a dozen eggs. I like this dozen. Just to throw it out to you, because this took me far too long to learn what a baker's dozen was. That's 13. That's an extra. Just saying, because I figured that out late in life. All right, so after, oh, we have a visitor today. Look it's Mike. Mike came to visit. I've had Mike for a few years now. He's a great friend. He loves calendar, and he loves math, and he loves learning. So thank you for visiting, Mike. He's gonna go have fun now. Thanks for visiting, Mike. You never know what's gonna happen. super fun. Yeah. All right. So that's so fun. Okay, so if you want to get a stuffed animal, watch this with your own stuffed animals. You do that. After the 19th, Sunday the 19th, we'll go to Monday the 20th. And looking at our pattern, okay, going to eggs. What came after eggs? What do we think is next?
Ruler.
The ruler. So now I have to think about what maybe parts or holes do we have? We have 8/12. 8/12. How might that work? With the eggs. What comes after eggs? The ruler. How might that ruler look? What might be blue? What might be yellow? Make some thoughts and predictions.
I think it's gonna be 8 because it goes up 2 inches every time.
Oh,
so
and
it
the
goes
ruler.
2, 4, 6, and
8. 8 will be blue.
8.
I think you are smart looking at clues in the past and not just you doing a wild guess. We don't like wild guesses. So, Mike needs to work. So, looking here, oh yes, we have 8 inches. That is what is blue. So 8 inches is our part. So we have 8 as our part. Oh, I forgot to write the date, silly me, the 20th. And then we have our hole, which is the entire thing, which is 12, because we know that a foot is 12 inches. So we have 12, and if we're gonna make that into a fraction, the part goes on the top, the hole or the total goes on the bottom, and they have special math names. We don't just say top and bottom. So going back, the more we use them, the more they stick in our brain. The number on top of the part, we call that the
Numerator.
kind of like to think it's new, it changes. And the number at the bottom, the whole or the total is the
Denominator.
Mike got that one. Okay, so it is 8/12 again is our fraction. And we have to think about the equivalent fraction. What is equal or the same? And it's kind of nice because we've done it a couple times now, so we kind of know what to expect. So 8/12, the equivalent fraction for 8/12. We learned last time you can find out what you could divide from both the top and the bottom. Whatever you do to the top, you gotta do to the bottom. Or looking at the picture and trying to see if there's a new way to group. We should know because we did this yesterday. So what would our equivalent fraction be?
2/3.
Okay, so I gotta write down ruler. Okay. 20th. Then we go to Tuesday, the 21st. I almost ruined it. I almost turned it. You have to think. What comes after the ruler? Mike, don't interrupt. He interrupted. What comes after the ruler?
An array.
She's paying attention. Miss McClaws, an array. Okay, so we have to think about if it's an array. Oh yeah, because array comes after. Yep. No wild guesses. Got to think about it. What would the fraction be? That's kind of tricky because I think it might be changing. So go back and look at your array and how they changed to make a smart prediction. Not a wild, crazy one. I don't like those. Although who would have guessed we'd be here? That's a wild guess. We're not seeing that one coming. Anybody want to make a smart guess based on clues? Yes.
I think that we'll now have 10 red because we had 2, 4, 6, and then 8. And then so add 2 more, that would be 10. And I think we will still have a whole of 12.
Ooh, I like she's using our words, parts and whole. Okay, let's see if our prediction's right with Susan. I agree. See, it pays off to use clues. So we have our array. Let's see if she's right. I like to count by twos, makes my I like it. Works for my brain. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. She is right. We have 10 red, which is our part. So we have 10, ooh, gotta write the date, 21st. We're officially into spring here, people. 10, and you already mentioned, lovely, our total is still 12. And then our fraction, you know, our part goes on top, our whole goes on the bottom, but we are in 3rd grade, so we use math words. So our math words, what's the top number called? The
Numerator.
And the bottom number is the
Denominator.
You can't switch them. Never put the whole at the top. I had kids do that last week. They messed us all up, so don't do that. So whole always goes on the bottom. Matters where you put it. So 10/12. Now the tricky part here, this is the first time we've done an equivalent fraction with 10. Hurts my brain a little bit, so we really gotta think about that one. What's nice is here, you can use the picture to help you. You could draw a picture at home, an array like this, to see if you can group them in a new way. Another way to think about it is, we're just getting so smart, we think you're ready for your tongue. So, looking at it, thinking about what number we could divide from both of these, the biggest number that would go into both of these, and get a whole number out. So, think about what number will go into 10 and 12. So you could do that by skip counting by 2s, skip counting by 4s, by 3s, see what, oh man. But we want to get the highest number that goes into both. So let's think about it. You gotta skip count, you do it. Oh my gosh. Interrupted my thinking. Okay, anybody want to take a smart guess? We can try a couple routes. Anybody? What number could go into both?
2 is a factor of 10 and 12.
Because I know when I skip count by 2s, I say those. So I could divide by 2. Remember, what you do to the top, you do to the bottom. You can't do different things, that's wrong. It's not math. Okay, so 10 divided by 2 is
5.
We know that. We know how much it is. Okay, and then 12 divided by 2 is
6.
So that is an equivalent fraction. Now, if you tried this at home and the number didn't go into both and evenly, well then you can't do that. It's not an equivalent fraction. Try something else. So we have 5/6. That is an equivalent fraction. Yeah, we're smart. And for a lot of us, that's new learning.
Whoa.
You can learn new things from home. Follow you wherever you go. All right. So we have 5/6. And our observations is it is an array. And we have 10 red and only 2 blue.
Hey Wildcats, if your brain gets tired, do some arm circles. Do 5 and then